They all played here. The first theatrical production that went on here, as far as we can determine, would have been about 1918. Production of Con the Chaperon, and several times when people needed money, they always put on a production of the Pope and Kelly Buck. Peter McGovern told me there's a man called Tom Tierney, who was a barber on John Street and produced plays here in the late 20s. Those days plays come up 1 or 2 years whenever they felt like it. And it was not until the establishment of the Omagh Players in 1934 that any sort of regular theatre became part of our scene. And a dear gentleman called F.G. Nugent of this town was prominent producer of the Omagh Players here in the year just before the war. The 40s were a great period and always associated with the late Paddy Bowes, and a great repertory company of players they had about them. One can only remember some of them no longer, with this Peter himself, McGovern, Kathleen Gibbon, Michael Gormley, Kathleen Sheffield, Paddy Mossy, and various other wonderful men who worked at the sets and the painting. Johnny McLaren, Bobby Chesters, people who gave their entire energies and free time to put on shows to the people in Omagh. George Rogers, who lit plays on the show for many, many years. People like Frank Rocory, Martin Mailer, who conducted and got together orchestras for many, many years. In the 1950s, of course, more about and on, the great pantomimes were associated with Paddy Laird. It was one thing that people remember this hall for. It was wonderful pantomimes in the 1950s. Scriptwriter, chief of staff, along with colleagues like late Frank Ball. And it's tremendous that Paddy Laird is here to share with us tonight the hall that was given so many memories. Boys Club's reviews that were mentioned in Jackie McGill's poem. Wonderful stuff, productions by youth clubs here, Showboat, Oklahoma, Desert Song, Bohemian Girl, theatre company called the Omagh Arts Theatre Society that produced wonderful thrillers and comedies here. And the years after the war, they worked with Joe Keating, with the Omagh Players in the 1960s, Paddy Laird himself, winning awards all up and down the country with Save and The Field, plays like that. Later years, and up to last week even, the Omagh Players, Kathleen Hines, wonderful cast of people, keeping the flag of Omagh drama flying throughout the north and throughout the entire island. And this theatre is a wonderful place tonight when it's full, but even when it's empty, and you gain access to it and you sit here, it is haunted. To say there's a ghost in the town hall, they only say that when someone goes missing backstage, but when you consider the amount of energy that has been expended, not only by performers and singers and actors and dancers, but also the audience. There's over 80 years or so, we have left some of our psyche and some of our soul into the walls and the roof of this great old hall. And when it goes, we will certainly miss it, because all our memories and all our yesterdays are here. I'm also struck by the fact that apart from the theatre, that the front of the hall, which was the original Ulster Bank, I'll not confuse you, was the centre of administration of the former Omagh Urban District Council for something like 70 years, and its successors. And the archives held wonderful meetings, and one night there was a proposal to raise Bell's Bridge. And one councillor said, that's too expensive, why don't we just lower the level of the river? They used to let houses at the council meeting. Somebody asked the councillor, how was it done? He says, well, it's very fair actually, all the names go into the hat. Those whose names are public get a house, the rest of them are illuminated. Before the council put up these little benches that people sit on, a vote of congratulation was given to a voluntary body who used to put them up. That was named as the Rotary Club. I think he meant the Rotary Club. In more recent years, I believe they were thinking of putting gondolas, is it, on the ornamental pond at the leisure centre. Someone said, how many? 24? Let's just get 2 and let them breed. Underneath this hall, of course, there was to be a very convenient and familiar public conveniences. Were being renovated sometime in the early 1950s. We're talking about urinals. One of the questions is, yes, don't forget to put in a couple of arsenals as well. Such was the new council chamber next door. We got a laugh there too over the years to keep the papers going. Ladies and gentlemen, I am announcing we are ready to continue now with the chorus with the McGirr set dancers, accompanied by Brendan McGinn. So a little bit of tertiary core and the light fantastic with our Irish dances.